I've always been busy. I will say this. I played 3 sports in college. Even outside of the sports that I played in college, I was an RA. I've always been busy, so not being busy just feels weird to me.
No, I feel that.
If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to be okay with being busy. Like, that's something that it can't overwhelm you. A lot of people want their own businesses, or they want to start their own thing, and it's like, okay, but do you actually like working?
Yeah.
Like, do you actually like being busy? Because people want to be wealthy, but they don't want to work. So it's like, you have to make sure that you know exactly what you want to do, and then you go from there. But yeah, you gotta take some.
People want to be wealthy, but they don't want to work. Well, we're here.
Yes,
We have arrived, y'all. Very special guest will be here today. Very special guest. Morning Melanin segment. It's definitely 8 p.m. But we're gonna say good morning anyways. Okay, you know, it's morning somewhere.
Exactly, it's morning somewhere.
It's morning somewhere. But yeah, let's jump right in. Morning Melanin segment. I have a special guest with me. We're gonna start off with some introductions. My name is Benji. I am the creator and founder, CEO of the Our Pilot Network, a platform that connects everyday consumers to Black-owned businesses, services, and brands. And you're tuning into the Morning Melanin segment, or the new edition of our guest. Okay, take it away.
What's good, y'all? My name is Jillian Anderson. I am the founder and CEO of HERide. HERide is a female-friendly rideshare app. We're based out of Atlanta, Georgia. We are basically the female Uber or Lyft. You can basically call us that. All of the drivers on our platform are women. And so we are currently in our beta testing round right now, and we are live, and we're taking rides in Atlanta. But yeah, that's a little bit of who I am. Founder, driver, CTO, CEO, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, we're out here. We're getting busy.
Nice. And also welcome to our wine bottles. They just blessed us. Oh my goodness.
Shout out to the gathering spot.
For real.
You know?
This is why we gather, to drink wine. That's the only reason, you know. So we have HERide. First of all, back up. How did we meet? I don't know. Where did we meet? Somewhere over there?
Was it the Founder for Founder? That event, and then you reached out to me after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we met up. And we met up for breakfast, which is my favorite thing to do here at the gathering spot.
Absolutely. Free breakfast.
Where you put me on some shelled eggs.
Yeah,
yeah, that's where we met. So yeah.
Please this is a disclaimer, okay? Ask for shelled eggs when you're at the counter. Just ask them. Just see if your eggs are folded. Don't get the eggs. Just ask for the shelled eggs.
Exactly, put me on game.
Absolutely. Yeah, we did meet at Founder to Founder. It was an event with the creator of CultureCon, I think. I'm actually going. I'll be in there in May.
Our services are supposed to be there. We talked to.
Really?
I talked to her afterwards.
Bet.
Yeah, so we've been in communication through email, but yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good.
Already. So that's probably a great segue into my first point.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like breaking into the rideshare industry and like building those contacts? Like, you got Uber, Lyft, you know, those are two Goliaths basically. How did that start?
I'm a byproduct of Uber and Lyft. I used to drive for both platforms.
Okay.
So my experience lies from working for their platforms, giving I don't know, thousands of rides on both platforms, building up those connects and those contacts over the years. And then once I decided to do my own, reaching back out to those same contacts, it's kind of easy. It was kind of a breeze. It's actually been pretty simple. Because when people hear the concept or hear what we're about, they hear our mission, they're right on board. They're with it. They're with it 100%. So it hasn't been that hard. But I would definitely say it is because of my predecessors.
No, that makes sense. And that's definitely talking about that too, because I know especially a lot of entrepreneurs, we all have different like origin stories, right? Some people jump head first, like quit the job and say, fuck it, I'm diving in.
Exactly.
Other people are 9-to-5preneurs, right? We still are taking full advantage of the benefits that come with a secured salary job, right? Cool. And then we kind of do the stuff from our 5 to 9, right? But we kind of borrow and we utilize the knowledge base, you know, like, and that's honestly what I'm doing, to be honest, full transparency, right? I work in tech, but I also want to work, my entrepreneurial platform is also in tech, so like kind of borrowing those skills. So like, is that kind of what you did? Like, you're saying, okay, driving for Uber, Lyft, you kind of studied their game or like studied their infrastructure. Like, did you like reach out to some of their personnel? Did you just start reading documents or whatever, or articles like that?
I'm big on articles. I consider myself a professional Googler.
Oh, absolutely.
But my background, seriously though, my background is computer science. So I did get my degree in computer science. I went to Albany State University. Shout out to ASU.
Shout out to Albany State.
You feel me?
Is that the real 229 or is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
I gotta make sure.
Yes,
The other folks be saying they do it.
Don't get them started. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a props. Shout out to real 229. But yes, I went to Albany State, so I do have a tech background. I do have a computer science background. When I moved to Atlanta, I was trying to go pro for basketball, and so doing rideshare worked best with my work schedule because I had an unorthodox work schedule. So it just made sense for me. And so over the years while I was doing that, it just became more clear. Like, I basically just kept getting signs that I needed to start my own company. I would pick up a lot of women at night. Women would tell me all the time, hey, can I get your personal number for cash rides, something like that, because they were more comfortable riding with a woman. Just so many different stories, just from the different women that work in nightlife in Atlanta that I've picked up and given rides to. We've shared stories and all that other good stuff, and so it just made sense. Then I'm big on podcasts. I started listening to some podcasts. How I Built This is where I listened to the story of Lyft, the guys that started Lyft, and I was like, wait, so it was just two people? Like, wait a minute, like, so it was just like, they just did, like, I was like, oh, I didn't know it was that simple. So when I read more into and did more research on the backstories of both founders, I was like, oh yeah, I can do this. Like, I can definitely do this. And that's kind of where it went from there. I still work. I have a job right now, 9 to 5. And so I still work, but I am kind of unorthodox. I am someone that will leave a job if a better opportunity presents itself. So if I ask people not to do that, don't do that. I'm insane. Please don't do that. Stay at your job. Stay with the benefits. Like, if you're in a comfortable situation, make it so that once you're finished with your job, that you can focus on what it is that you need to focus on. But you have to commit to that, because if you don't, then you have really no
safety net.
You have no safety net. Yeah. Because if you just quitting jobs, you ain't got no safety net, and you don't want to live like that. Trust me. So
that's definitely the golden rule. Like, wait till your side hustle is able to replace your salary.
Exactly.
And then, okay, cool, jump in.
Exactly. But I've always been busy. I will say this. I played 3 sports in college. I've been active like that, even outside of the sports that I played in college. I was an RA. So I've always been busy, so not being busy just feels weird to me.
I feel that.
It's like, if you're gonna be an entrepreneur, you have to be okay with being busy. Like, that's something that it can't overwhelm you. It can't. It's something that you actually should encourage, or something that's just part of your personality. So that's another thing that people need to keep in mind, because a lot of people want their own businesses, or they want to start their own thing, and it's like, okay, but do you actually like working? Do you actually like being busy? Because people want to be wealthy, but they don't want to work. So it's like, you have to make sure that you know exactly it is what you want to do, and then you go from there. But you gotta take some.
People want to be wealthy, but they don't want to work.
We're trying to tap in with 3 schools, raise $3,000 in just 3 months. Who's ready to shoot their shot in 2023 for Black to School Season 3, bringing Black businesses to college campuses? I'm excited. More info coming soon. If you're ready to run the play, go ahead and hit that link, whether it's down here, over here, up here, whatever. Support the cause, donate, show up, and show out. Let's get to work.
And for people that look like us, it don't really work like that. So
no, it doesn't.
I mean, until the reparations check comes, then I feel like at that point that you can probably just chill. But a lot of us don't have the opportunity, so you do have to put it in, you do have to put that work in.
And it's real funny because, like, just speaking on that, like, the whole premise and the theme of like financial freedom, right? Like, at least in my circles, in conversation, I feel like a lot of my peers often misconstrue what financial freedom means. And like, also, especially like what has to happen before that. So like, let's make it simple. In order to pay your rent and buy good food, you have to go to work to get money first, right? It's not going to magically appear. So if you want that financial freedom, it does come with a level of input to get that output. So like, I don't know, it's just weird how people think that they're gonna be wealthy by just not doing a shit. And like, oh, I don't wanna work for nobody. Technically, as an entrepreneur, you don't have a boss, but your boss is your clients, your customers, like your mission. Like that's who you're working for, your why. So it's just funny. Yeah,
No,
I'm
right.
I'm glad you were here to say that, because like you really got to make it clear. Like if you want to be wealthy, you got to work.
Yeah, point blank period. That's why both words start with W. Like there's nothing you can't get around. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, facts. And so you have HERide, and you said that it's specific to women, right?
Yeah.
That's definitely a niche market. And it's funny because you're now like on another level where Uber and Lyft were when they started. They were a niche market because back then Uber, for example, like they were coming for all the taxi cabs, because the old dude was like, I forgot what exactly his gripe was it, but like he was like, fuck it, I'm gonna start a rideshare company, and they did not like that at all.
Nope.
But he was very niche, and I think Lyft is even more specific than Uber. They have more, at least they appear to be more in tune with like social change or social issues or social governance. I'm not gonna speak too much on the Uber guy, but I heard he was an asshole. But anyways, I think the Lyft guys were a little bit more
Just
like,
watch Super Pumped.
Yeah,
If you want to know how he is.
and
watch
definitely
Super
watch.
Pumped.
You mentioned your podcast you listen to. There's one called, what's it called? Business Wars.
Oh, okay.
That's what it's called. Business Wars, one of my favorite podcasts, and they talk about like they have a UPS versus FedEx story, Uber versus Lyft, Burger King versus Wendy, like all like those origin stories, Domino's and pizza, like it's great. But you really tap in, you tap into all the business stuff. So you're a niche market, right?
Yep.
If you could describe like what was it like pitching that to people, because obviously niche markets are usually, I'm in a niche market, so I know how it feels, like really describing how your specific thing fills a specific need and why people should care about it.
When we first pushed it, honestly, I was trying to push it to where no one even knew who I was as a founder. I wanted to push it as a brand that couldn't be identified by the founder, and so we were just pushing it as for women, by women, choose to be unbothered, that type of thing. And then during COVID, when everything shut down, everybody started getting way more active on social media. And so there were so many every single day or every week almost, there was a different trend going on Twitter. Twitter's our favorite platform. And so that's where we do a lot of our marketing and stuff like that. And so my former co-founder, she was active on Twitter, and there was a trend going on that day where people were posting pictures of themselves as the owner, and then they would post a picture of whatever brand it is that they had. And so I told her I said, post HERide, post yourself as the owner, and then post it up. We went viral that day.
Oh wow.
She posted like, I want to say 9 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And in like 30 minutes, she called me and she was like, I think we're gonna go viral. And I was like, you sure? Wow. She was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure we're probably gonna go viral. Yeah. So it was just it was timing, luck, a little bit of luck. And that day we got like 6,000 people that signed up to the app that day. It was like one of my first kind of stress tests. You call it stress test in engineering and coding. To where like, just to see if the app can even handle that many signups in one time, and it could. We didn't even have any crashes. It was crazy.
That's dope.
It was great. So like, so many people signed up that day. Ever since then, marketing and like just selling our niche has been kind of simple. Like it's pretty straightforward. All the drivers are women. We're just like Uber and Lyft. We're pretty much for women. Like that's kind of how it's been sold. I mean, we have people that we have a little bit of backlash coming from people that aren't women. Correct. And so they're just always in this sexist or whatever. I pretty much ignore all that. Like that's probably like once every 1,000 positive comments that we get. So it's been very easy for people to pick up. We've been very word of mouth about it. We haven't been big and broadcasting on billboards or things like that. But the press is starting to pick up around it. And it's been going well. Our conversion, whatever they want to call it, conversion is about 50%. So like from we have about 25,000 downloads total.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So we got about 25,000 downloads. Out of those downloads, 12,000 of those people have made accounts on the platform.
I'm gonna check it.
So that's like 50%.
It might have went up. I bet it went up too. Why? Cause y'all lit. Let me see if it went up.
Oh, it shows downloads on the App Store?
I think so.
I don't know.
I could have sworn it did.
Oh, well, we definitely got 25. I'm not capping.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I could have sworn it does that. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't.
Maybe you have to hit over a certain amount before they start showing it.
Yeah.
We got 25,000. I'll send you a screenshot. It's cool.
25K.
We definitely
And counting.
Yeah, and counting. But yeah, so our conversion rate's like 50% because of that. So like we got 12,000 people actually signed up and made accounts on the platform.
So conversion rate, what do you mean conversion rate?
So basically like conversions from just people that just simply download to people that actually create an account and then now you're locked in as like now have them as a customer because
So
now that they've done that, anytime I send a push notification they get it. Mm-hmm. So that's about 50% is high for an app, especially for an app that isn't giving any rides. People are just sitting and waiting. So that's incredible. And that's been the average since we went viral that day. Like we've been consistent at that.
And that's 20K like within the past like quarter, like Q1 or like last month?
We've been live since March 2020. We're in 2022 now.
Yep, 2 years. So
we got 6,000 that day in June. But since then we've gotten 6 more thousand people to sign up. So it's been steadily. We had a little spike last February when we kind of went viral again on Twitter, but it's been consistent. Like we have about, if I break it down by the average, I want to say probably 10 people sign up a day.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
That's dope. No, that's dope. Okay, so you kind of conversion as when a customer downloads the app and then they open an account and all that stuff.
When they sign up on the app.
So what about like drivers? How do you track that?
Now the drivers are different. So the drivers, that's been. I mean, we track it the same way. We have about 2,000, 2,500 downloads total, but I only got like almost 60 drivers that have downloaded and actually filled out the application, going through the whole process.
Gotcha.
So that conversion rate's a lot lower, and we expected that because that's our backbone.
That's the bone, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so getting those drivers on board, gathering resources so that we can incentivize our drivers. That's what this beta is for.
I got you. That makes sense.
Yeah, so that's what we're heavily doing is recruiting our drivers, onboarding the drivers, teaching them how the platform works. Yeah. Because we aren't Uber and Lyft yet. We don't have millions of customers waiting to use the app. We don't have thousands of people requesting rides all day, every day. We haven't gotten to that point yet. But we will. So we're just, educating our drivers, trying to teach them how our platform works, how it's going to work better for them, how we can benefit them, and how we can work around their schedule. Because gig work is mainly part-time. So I know that I'm going to have a high turnover rate when it comes to these drivers. Everyone's not going to be doing this for a career.
Right, it'll be transient.
It's going to be very transient. So it's just making sure that our onboarding system is clear, cut, straightforward, to the point to where people understand what this is when they sign up for it, and that they're excited to, hopefully that they stay longer than they stay drivers for Uber and Lyft. Just because we pay more. So as the business will grow and as the demand will grow, we'll be able to retain more drivers. Just because we're not gonna renege on our fares. When I say I'm telling people that they're gonna get 80%, they're gonna keep 80%.
Cool.
Because there's no need for us to dip into their profits. When they're the ones that's driving the app.
And that's a great segue too, because I was gonna get a little bit more into the business side of things, right? So like, I was curious. I'm a data nerd, so like I was curious to see like percentages and how you compare. So like I'm curious to see actually how Uber and Lyft numbers are doing in terms of like, okay, they have this many drivers and this many customers. I wonder if they have a ratio to kind of what they consider to be healthy.
They hide that. I've been looking for that data for the longest.
But I wonder what
that used to work there, or a friend. I've been introduced to someone who knows someone that used to work there, so hopefully I can get that data. But that is kind of they hide that.
Gotcha. Okay.
All I know is that the surge and the way that like the way that these prices are affected now, when people are like, why is it costing $40 for me to go down the street? It's because that's already set up in their algorithm. And so regardless, they don't know what world events doesn't matter to their algorithm. It's based on the demand of drivers, and it's like a supply and demand thing. And so that's where their surge, that's how their surge thing activates. So that's why their prices are elevated right now, because there aren't as many drivers driving anymore. And because of that means the surge price goes up. Because of demand.
So it's automated.
Yeah, it's automated.
Got you. That's dope. Yeah, because that definitely. So okay, I'm curious then, how much what capabilities, or let me actually back up a little bit. What was it like building that infrastructure, especially knowing these things, how Lyft and Uber operates, right? What was it like kind of building that for your own? Like, how are you able to obtain an algorithm to be able to, or how are you able to write your own algorithm that can be able to detect surge pricing, or like, how did that look like for you?
Ours is manual. So
Okay.
that's the difference between mine and the other platforms. Mine is manual. It's set up based on like how I want to set up. So if I want to set up a surge pricing or some type of format, it'll only be for a certain time period. So like during rush hour from like 7 to 9 in the morning, when it's just everybody's trying to get to one place at one time. Or if it's during an event, like tonight's a playing game for the Hawks. You could set up an area or zone where it would surge only if it needs to. So it's like the surge price will only be in effect if it's necessary.
Okay.
It's not like it's gonna be like right now we're only doing pre-booked rides. So surging would never exist for HERide right now because everyone has to schedule in advance in order to book. If on demand comes and people want to ride on demand, then that's when surging comes into play, because you have to understand, you're asking for something on demand. That's a convenience fee you have to pay.
No, that makes sense.
So that's why.
No, that's dope. So it's kind of semi-automated then, right? So okay, that's dope. And yeah, that's definitely smart. As you're growing, like you want to be able to at least control and maintain your traction. Yeah. So you set it yourself. Okay, that makes sense. So I am curious now, especially I've also been an Uber Lyft driver, right? And I was curious about like, okay, how do they make the UI look a certain way, and like how do they tap into Google Maps and the integrations, the APIs, like just talking about the back end of HERide. What's that like? Because I know you said you have a computer science degree. Are you like the only person with that background, or like do you have a team of folks?
Yeah, I'm the only person.
So like
right
you're
now.
The software team. Okay.
Yeah, I am the software team right now. I mean, I have so I outsourced the app to get developed because I don't have time to make an app of that extent. I have 4 apps technically. I have a driver app and a customer app on iOS and on Android. So that's 4 apps total. I have a dashboard website that's coded in PHP. So that's its own entity right there. And I also have my customer facing website, which I just use Wix for that, and that was simple. So that is it's 5 different things. On the back end alone, we got 20 different accounts that I have in terms of APIs that are connected to HERide. We got Stripe. Stripe is our payment processor, so that API is set up for that.
Stripe is good.
I love Stripe. We use Twilio. That's like our text messaging service, so that when people sign up and all those automated messages, they're getting that from Twilio. We have a Maps or Google Maps, and we have Waze. We have Waze on there as well. Let's see. Those are the top 4. It's 20 total, but those are the top 4 I can think of. Our servers are on DigitalOcean, things of that nature. So it's a lot of different accounts that I have access to. But those are our main.
What's DigitalOcean?
DigitalOcean is where you host servers.
So it's like a cloud.
Yeah, cloud. So instead of AWS, DigitalOcean.
Got you.
And they so as the more storage. As more people start using the app and more storage we have on our servers, that's how my price kind of fluctuates right now. So my overhead costs are egregiously low. They're probably record-breaking low, to be honest, which is why I have been kind of just hesitant on. I haven't been like, most people like, we raised $1 million before we did this. I bootstrapped. We're self-funded. I work my extra jobs and I pay for everything because our overhead isn't that much. And so it's been a blessing. And I say that because when people say that they want apps, I always encourage people to really like make sure that either you are gonna be the tech person or your co-founder is, because this is not a joke. Like people spend thousands of dollars on apps and they don't know why they're spending all this money. They're just assuming that I'm paying this person, they're gonna do it right for me. Don't think that. Do not think that.
Let's talk about that, because I mean, as we mentioned before, like we're still both considered like 9-to-5preneurs, right? And I always try to stress a message to encourage those types of entrepreneurs. They may not have the venture capital to start off with, or equity crowdfunding, loans, whatever access they may have. We're majority of our time for me is 40 hours because I work a corporate job. 40 hours of my week I have to dedicate to my job. I mean, I can kind of, finesse it because I work remote, right? So like, but I still have to commit to a job, right? What are because I know you mentioned if someone was watching this right now saying, okay, I want to build my app. What tools do I need? What access do I need? What accounts? Like you said, Twilio and all these other things. Let's just talk about that because we definitely want to send people down the right path.
Yes,
what I'm trying to say.
Of course.
Like you said, basically make sure you're the tech person.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course.
Who do you trust to build something like this?
You need to find somebody you trust. Point blank. Period. Because I'm telling you, this is not one. First of all, the tech industry is probably the slimiest industry of all.
Yeah.
People talk about the music industry now. The tech industry would like to speak to you guys. They would like to have a word. No one's slimier than them.
Really?
So when you're dealing with people that are just already on a different level of thinking, you have to understand that these people also will try to get over on you.
Yeah.
And so if you're not on the same level of thinking as they are, they will get over on you because they know how to, because it's very easy to get over on people in tech, especially when it comes to development. You'll have developers tell you that they can do something that they cannot do at all. I'm dealing with it right now. I'm literally dealing with it right now. You'll have them, they'll be like, yes, we can definitely do that. Please ask for proof. Ask for proof because they will. I'm serious. They'll fill your head with these big words, these technical terms, and all this other stuff. Don't fall for it. Ask for the proof. I'm telling y'all. Don't just allow the project manager of whatever company it is that you go with. If you outsource a development project and they assign you a project manager from their company. Get your own project manager to be over them because that person doesn't work for you; they work for them. So you just have to understand that even though you're contracting them to build something for you, you're not their employer. It's just a contract type of thing. You need to have someone that's going to be over them. Point blank. Period. That's all I have to say on that. If you're not technical, you need to have a technical co-founder. It's not going to happen without it. I don't care what you think. None of these big tech companies, you may look into these founders, like Uber's founder, he wasn't technical. But Travis, his co-founder was. Trust and believe he was. People don't hear nothing about him because he was the co-founder. He wasn't the chatterbox. The co-founder was the techie. He built the algorithm, all that good stuff. So trust me, Travis was the salesman. So that's usually how it works with these apps.
Correct.
You have one person that's a salesman, you have the other person that's a tech. Even with Apple, Steve Jobs was not technical. It was Steve Woz. It was Woz. He was the one that did all that stuff. So Steve was a salesman. So that's how it's always. And that's usually how it is. And that's usually how the partnerships work out because two super technical people usually just don't work out because we're shy. Even though I'm talking to you guys, I'm comfortable right now, but I'm naturally a reserved person. And so I kind of have a special skill set because of my background. I was an RA and all the other stuff, so I'm cool with talking, but I don't like it. That's not the thing that I like to do. So usually a good team, a good tech team as a startup, they'll have their one co-founder. He has a background in sales, business, something like that, and then the other co-founder is 100% technical. That's how it goes. So that's my advice for you guys. Do not try to do this on your own. Don't try to do it.
No facts. And that's definitely a good message because especially people who look like us, right? I was just talking to my friend yesterday about this. I said, sis, if nothing else, first and foremost, ask for help.
Yeah.
Straight up, we gotta put our pride aside. We have to, because I strongly believe in if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together.
Exactly.
You get somewhere fast by yourself. Cool. You ain't gotta wait on nobody to do whatever to get their shit together. You can just get up and go. But you may not get far because what if you stumble and fall? Who's gonna have to pick you up? Yourself. And you may get tired of that. But if you have someone, a community, a village, and all these things, you're gonna need help to build things like this. But yeah, that struck a nerve for me because it's definitely a message there. But no, you're right. I like that idea. If you have the sales background, the business background, you need an expert in that field.
Yes, you do.
You definitely need an expert in that field.
Do not play around with that. You're going to waste a lot of money if you do. I promise you.
I don't think I touched on it, but how long from conception of this idea to you actually building your first MVP Like, how long was that? Like, what steps did you have to go through to be like, okay, I want to build an app to, we're about to launch?
Woo wee. Okay. I'm gonna give y'all a timeline. It's September. It was September the 13th to be exact. So that's the day that I actually got called the lawyer to get the name trademark. And so the day before that was the 12th, which was my brother's birthday. I thought of the idea. I kid you not, you guys. I was delivering pizza at the time for a pizza company. I was sitting in the parking lot waiting for another order to come through, and I was listening to the podcast, all this other stuff, and I started doing my research about female-friendly rideshare apps. Saw that there was one that started in the States that was kind of like what I was trying to do, but they were nowhere near Georgia. So I said, bet, this is what we're about to do. We're about to pop this thing off in Georgia. We're about to get this rolling.
Yeah.
And the first thing I thought of was the name. So when I drew the name out and wrote it out and kept pronouncing it over and over again, the first thing I did was call my girlfriend. I called her and I asked her, did she think that this was a good name? Did she think it was a good idea for an app? She was like, wow, that actually sounds really good. Okay, cool. You always say everything I do sounds good. All right, that's cool. I'm gonna ask somebody else because she's my girl. So I called somebody else, got their opinion. Asked some of my friends in my friend group, asked their opinion. Everybody said it was an amazing idea. The next day, I called a trademark lawyer and started the process of getting my name trademarked. When it comes to apps, and you mentioned it, like we don't ask for help. A lot of people, especially us, we're always scared of people gonna steal our ideas, all this other stuff. I'm not scared of that shit.
Protect it.
Let me just protect it. Just protect your idea. Spend the money to protect your idea if you really care about it that much.
Yeah.
That's my advice to you. If you really feel like your idea is as good as it is, then just pay to protect it and then do what you need to do in order to get it to the next level. But that's what I did. I believed in my idea so much that I trademarked it before I even found a development company to build my app. So that's where I started. In September, we did that. Trademark started. I found a development company. I want to say like maybe a week after. We started the process on getting that developed. The app was done by March 2020. So that was like, 6 months maybe ish. I don't know, I can't know exactly. Maybe 6 months. Yeah. So from September to then, it was like we got to MVP status. In between that time, I also made an Indeed posting for drivers. We had over 1,200 applicants.
Wow.
1,200 applicants in, I want to say, a couple weeks that applied. So the traction was going great. The only thing that slowed us down was COVID.
Yeah.
So once COVID hit, we just put everything on pause and we kind of like regrouped. And now the year after that was just 2021. We went live. We tried to go live in March, but there were some issues with the app, so I shut everything down. I'm a Virgo, by the way, so I demand perfection. I demand perfection.
Shut it down.
I am like what's his name? Denzel, the coach from remember the Titans?
Yeah, Coach Boom.
Yes, I demand perfection.
You will be perfect.
Exactly. That's how you will be perfect.
Movie tonight, man.
Swear to God, you will be perfect. That's how I am with my development team. So we stopped everything for a whole year. They got the couple of things that I asked them to fix. They got it right. So now we are in beta and live right now.
Love it.
But there are still some things that we do need to fix before I really want to go live and go like full blast in Atlanta. But that's kind of been the timeline, and in between all that time, we went viral on Twitter and all that good stuff. So we've just been having constant sign-ups since then.
Absolutely.
We've been live since March 2020 on the App Store. We got over 100-something reviews. My co-founder told me that I don't read reviews because
that I can see.
I was about to say, I don't read reviews because they put me in my feelings, but my co-founder actually read them, and she said we have more on Google Play than we do on the App Store. But we have a whole bunch of reviews. Didn't even know that. So people have been reviewing the apps since before. Yeah, since before we were live. So we out here. I don't know about all these other platforms and all these other apps, but people are actually using ours. So that's my difference. Whenever I sell to people and people ask me like, oh, I've heard of this one and this one, I'm like, that's cool, but people actually use mine.
No,
so
facts.
you let me know how that other company's doing.
No, facts. Okay, a lot to unpack there. That was good. Trademarking, competition versus community, and your experience building this platform. I'm gonna start with trademarking.
Okay.
Let's dive into that. I know we talked about that the other day, right? But like, really honing on this, like how important it is to protect your idea. Because you basically hit the nail on the head. People are so scared and skeptical. Protect your shit. If you, that's why we got locks on our cars, our houses, home security system. Protect it. So, what was? I mean, you got? Is there like a levels to trademarking that can protect from like state, city, nation, or like what?
So I have a U.S. trademark. So my trademark is just for the United States.
Which is a good enough playing field.
It is. So that's a good enough playing field for now. I actually found my trademark lawyer on a website called Up Counsel. So that's kind of like Fiverr for lawyers, freelance lawyers. They do freelance work on Up Counsel. So it's. I actually tried to trademark something through LegalZoom before, and it wasn't HERide, but it was something different, and I wasted like $500.
Yeah,
trying to do it myself.
Yeah.
Go through a trademark attorney. Yeah. Do not do it yourself unless you are a trademark attorney or have I'm just saying, do not try to do it yourself because you're gonna waste money.
Yeah.
So pay them folks. It costs around $750. I'll be transparent. It costs about $750 for me to get just the word HERide trademark. If you want the logo trademark, that's another $750. I'm letting you know that. Like if you really believe in your stuff and protecting your stuff, it costs money. I'm just letting you know that. $750.
Yeah.
So I got that trademark first, and that was enough for me. And so I did that because when it comes to apps and the way that people know apps and they remember it by their names. The only reason y'all know Uber and Lyft is because the name, they paid for it to be put in music. They paid so much money for marketing so that you can know their name, and so that now those are only two rideshare platform names that you know. And that's fine, that's great, that's how you're supposed to do it. I know my name is just as good, so that's why I paid for it. So
cool. That's
why I did what I did. And then you said after the trademarking.
Yeah, just before we go to those, I'm glad that you're transparent about these, because like, I mean, if someone's watching this and they're like, okay, cool, what does it take to get to this level, right? I mean, $750, boom, and then you got how many of your accounts? Like, if you don't mind sharing your overhead, like what's your general overhead cost for running the
Alright, so my general overhead right now, this is good because I want the investors to know that they're reaching out.
There can be black-owned anything, and to just know that knowledge that black-owned something is out there for you to buy is powerful.
It really is.
Yeah.
We're raising awareness for a black-owned laundry detergent brand.
You can leave Tide and Gain aside. Truth have arrived.
It costs free $99 to like, share, and comment, right? It's free. Just click the link in the bio. Make sure you like, share, comment. Make sure you donate.
Great. Yeah, the overhead costs. Let's talk about it. What does it take to run an app?
This is good because I want the people to know. So overhead costs is not that expensive. It costs me about $500 a month to run HERide. That's from server costs, that's to business insurance, that's to everything. So remember, HERide's an app. We don't have a building. There's no rent I have to pay. My rent is my server cost, and so that's based on how many users and how much storage I'm taking up on the cloud in DigitalOcean, which is what I use. So that's about right now it's about $75 a month because we've gotten more users. So that's the only reason that's gone up. My business insurance is like $30 a month. Let's talk about business insurance versus car insurance.
Talk about it.
Business insurance is extremely cheap. I did not know business insurance is extremely cheap.
It's dumb cheap.
It is extremely cheap. Wow. So yeah, I got that. My business, and that's like the liability or $1 million policy. Like I swear to God, like
so
it's $30 a month.
I know, like there's like Lemonade is like a.
I use Next.
I've heard Next. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I use Next.
Bet.
Yeah, they got me good.
No,
right.
I'm gonna hit them up. Okay.
Let's see who else.
Business insurance, servers, and then you mentioned you use Twilio.
So I load that up. $20 once every 4 months. I want to say I have to load $20 onto Twilio.
Oh wow!
It's a fraction of a penny.
That's
the cost for each of those messages.
Oh yeah, because they charge you for that.
I just put $20 on the card.
That's easy, yeah.
And it loads it. Yeah, and it every like 3 months they tell me I need to reload it. So that lasts pretty good. And I be sending push notifications every day. So that's been good. What else is we paying for? Materials, marketing materials. That's what costs the most. So if I'm getting flyers, I need stickers for the drivers to put on their cars. We're also about to start paying for these the rear view
hang
thing,
tiles?
the things that hang up. So basically, like
Decals, yeah.
Hartsville, Jackson, Atlanta. That's the reason why it's gonna cost so much. Our overhead expenses are going up. In order, if you want to be legal, like in terms of a legal company, a rideshare company that can pick up and drop off people at the airport, Hartsville Jackson wants to know who you are and what you're doing on their property.
Right.
So basically what they do is you have to get a permit through them. So if anybody's been in an Uber or Lyft before and they've seen the thing that's hanging from their window, that's only for Hartsville Jackson Airport. That's only for the airport. That is their way of keeping track of every single driver that Uber and Lyft has.
So you don't get scooped
So
up.
so they don't, and it's crazy because I think they randomly pull people over. Like they don't just do that often. I think you have to like be either sitting around and they just notice your car a lot for them to pull you over. But basically that's for them, that's their way of checking to see if you are basically a registered driver that's going to be giving them their money. The reason why they do this is because Hartsville Jackson charges $1.50 from every rideshare ride that originates from their airport. They want $1.50 of it. So that's why it costs. There's an additional airport charge on all your rideshare. Anything that if you're at the airport and you're like, I want to be picked up from the airport to go anywhere else, there's going to be an extra charge. And I think Uber or Lyft charges $3.50. We charge $3.50 too because we gotta give them that cut.
Correct.
So there's nothing we can do about it. But that they charge each driver $50 for that permit. Each driver that's on the so each driver I have to pay $50 just for them to be able to pick people up from Hartsville.
So $50 a driver and then $3.50 per ride.
No, it's $1.50. They want
$1.50 per ride
that originates from the airport,
and then $50 per driver to be able to just go to the airport. Oh, they're getting buku
just
money,
being their
y'all.
they're getting racks.
They getting buku money.
Yeah, the airport's not hurting at all. Don't let them folks fool you. That's why that construction has never ended.
It's not. No fact. No fact.
So yeah, that's where majority of that cost comes. Like I said, marketing materials pulls in another hefty amount, and then any type of advertising that we want to do, but we haven't really paid for any advertising yet. So that's not really a big thing. Right now, I'm just trying to get more money up to incentivize drivers. I want to be able to incentivize drivers.
No, that's fine. I mean, hey, Twitter's working fine.
Yeah, but I want to actually be able to like incentive, like, hey, y'all sign up, you get an extra $200 when you complete your first 25 rides. Same thing that Uber and Lyft did. It's just an incentive, but I want to be able to keep that rolling.
So I think Uber calls them quests or something like that.
Yeah, quests, missions, all that other good stuff. Yeah.
Something like
that. So yeah, I want to be able to incorporate those type of things into, and I have that option. Like I said, but we gotta get these people to sign. We gotta get these people signed up, and like I said, we do have to raise some funds. There are some funds that we have on the way. By the grace of God, and so that we'll be incorporating that stuff. So like I said, y'all, like if you're interested in driving for HERide, you will get 80%. There's not, I'm no bull. You will get 80%, and you can like I said, you can sign up to drive, and we have incentives on the way, like literally coming within the next couple weeks.
That's dope. So yeah, not that much from a business owner perspective, right? I mean,
yeah, it's not that much. It's very low.
Yeah, and I love talking about this because, like I said, I want to own the fintech. I'm in fintech, so like running these online businesses, especially with COVID, that really showed a lot of people that they can run an online whatever. If you're selling soap to candles to services, right? If you run an online business, you're not worrying about rent, you're not worrying about lights, you're not worrying about insurance on the building, and then security for the building. All that is just gone.
All that's gone.
It's
a dream. It's
a beauty. No, I feel it. So all those tech entrepreneurs, fintech, we here for you. We here for you.
Keep your overhead costs low. You'll thank yourself later, especially if you're bootstrapped.
And so you do this, you build this app, you're able to maintain it. You mentioned earlier that there are others like you, right? Especially in your niche. Not only rideshare apps, of course, Uber, Lyft, but the specific niche ones that are not only black owned, but also black women owned, that are for female conscious or female friendly riders, or the ones that are like supposed to be for the community. Like you have Moving Rideshare, you have Wave Rideshare. Shout out to them. But so it's one of those questions where like, okay, they're out here, so what type of thing? Like it's no disrespect to them right? But like you're standing in your lane, you're standing in your shit because I mean, from my perspective, I like us to have options. Period.
Yeah.
I like that. I use Uber and Lyft.
Yeah.
So like, okay, if Uber's down, I go to Lyft. If Lyft is down, I go to Uber. Lyft got their price surge. Okay, bet. Let me see what we're talking about. Like,
Exactly.
I'm real big on options. But yeah, like, what was that like? Just getting the backlash of like, oh, there's already like 3 apps like you, or like you're not gonna make it this far because we got Uber and Lyft or whatever. Like,
I care less.
Yeah.
I care less. There are 30 other rideshare apps outside of Uber and Lyft that are operating in the United States that don't nobody talk about.
Really?
Yeah, they don't nobody talk about, and they're making like millions of dollars in revenue a year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not pressed. And the reason I say that is because I come from a sports background. I am extremely competitive by nature.
Yeah.
So it's not like having a whole bunch of other people that is doing the same. I don't care.
Yeah.
I was a 5'9" forward in college.
Yeah.
Like every person I went up against was 6 feet and higher. Like I didn't care. Like I didn't care.
Yeah.
But when you came against me that night on the court, like you had to face me.
Mm-hmm.
So I always when I take that approach, I'm extremely competitive, and when I'm tunnel vision, I don't see nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
So people tell me, people brought these things to my attention, and that's cool, that's fine and dandy. It's either you want to work with me, or you could just be my competitor. But I know that I'm a win. I'm a winner. Like that's how I am. Like I'm determined to be up there. Now that we've gotten our feet in the ground, I feel like I can be number 3. I'm not trying to take over Uber and Lyft, but I feel like I could be number 3 in terms of the most known rideshare companies in the United States. I feel like I could.
Absolutely.
And so that's the approach I take on it. I welcome all competition because I'm a winner. Like I'm gonna win regardless. Yeah,
No,
I'm gonna win regardless. So honestly there's enough money in this industry for everyone.
There's no shortage.
Yeah, there's no shortage.
There's no shortage.
There's no shortage. So like I said,
Honestly.
even from Uber and Lyft standpoint, like there are so many different companies that are doing different things outside of what Uber and Lyft's doing. So all you gotta do is figure out what the main 2 aren't doing, make that your niche. And then go from there. Niche. So like you don't have to, like everybody don't have to compete against each other. There doesn't have to be 30 other women rideshare companies that come out after HERide. Like I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
I really could just combine with HERide and we could just be big on its own. But I already know that competitors already exist. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm just gonna focus on myself and making HERide known as, an alternative option for women. Like I'm not here to beat out all the other women rideshare companies.
Right.
I'm not here for that. I'm here to create a safe space for women.
Cool.
So I'm just using my athletic background to just, propel my brand forward the way I know how.
No, fact.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about like how many teams in NBA? Like, shit, I don't even know.
30, is it
30 something?
Is it 24 or 36? I don't know. It's crazy because I'm a basketball player. You know this.
In all the years of NBA history, I mean, a lot of different teams. It's like almost statistically speaking, at least one team could win the finals in every year. Like, so just because, and then you have certain teams have their glory days. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, like you had Larry Bird Magic days, or you had the. I was a Celtics fan back in like the early 2000s, for example. So like, I was there like when they had
Big Three.
Okay. Paul Pierce, KG, and Ray Allen, man, and then me and my brother. So like that whole era too, when they lost to the Miami Heat. And then when LeBron even won his first championship. So like that's a perfect example, just showing there's so many, all these teams, but yet each team kind of has its own flavor.
Exactly.
They have their own thing to offer. They got this star, they got this big three, they got that coach, who's behind them, who's the general manager, who's the manager of the team, whatever, etc. So like, and especially for our people, like community is everything.
Exactly.
I mean, me personally, when I see something that's similar to my platform, I actually want to meet them. Like, I want to talk to them before I say, "Oh, how can we outdo them?" I'm like, let's leverage each other's resources, because you never know. Like someone can be like, "All right, well, honestly," and straight up, what if they fail? Like, let's be real. What if they fail? Like, what if whatever happens, and what if they may miss out on a investment opportunity or something? And obviously, I don't want that to happen to nobody, but it's good to focus on what you're building because you may never know where you may be able to step in and be like, oh, I can buy your company for you.
Exactly.
I can save you or whatever. I can work with you or vice versa. So
I think that's where HERide will end up being, because there have been competitors that have. It's crazy. I actually had someone that reached out to us when we were on the news this year. We were on Love It Alive.
Yeah.
And I always I love the news. I love press. I don't mind it. I don't care. Like I'm used to it. I'm used to that. I don't like it, but I'm used to it.
Yeah.
But I knew it was gonna come from it. So when it happened, we had an influx of people that were interested in all the other stuff. We actually had someone that reached out to us that has a rideshare company in Atlanta area that told me that I needed to take my website down and change my name, change my colors, because I'm infringing on her company. You guys, basically what she was trying to tell me in layman's terms is if I owned a Wingstop and I set up shop in the same plaza as an American Deli, she was trying to tell me that I'm infringing on her company by selling wings. That's not illegal, y'all. That's not the definition of infringement either. So she was just completely wrong. Yeah, I'm trademarked. So I've had that happen a couple times. And it's disheartening, and the only reason it's disheartening is because the founders of these companies are black women.
Yeah.
And so it's like
wow, community, bro.
Community. Yeah, it's the community. Like I'd rather work as a team than to work against, especially when it's people that look like me.
Yeah.
So I'm not someone that's gonna be like, we can't work together. We gotta be, it has to be separate. Like, girl, no. Like you could just come this way. Like if you Google my company versus Googling that company. You're gonna see proof of what is it called? Proof of a concept?
Yeah, proof of concept.
You'll see proof of concept if you Google HERide, HERide, do it on Google. You'll see proof of concept. We have news articles dating back to 2020. You can see that we've been here for a while. So it's like I'm not here to be like, who was here first, that type of thing, because I know where I got my idea from. Yeah. That company knows, and so. It's not about that, especially in the tech space. It's about who does it better. Yeah. Who can actually deliver on what it is that the service that it is that they're trying to provide, and who can provide an easy experience for the customer. It's all about user experience when it comes to these apps. Yeah. And so, I mean, I have experienced that. It's been disheartening. But I feel like HERide will be one of those companies that will just be the ones that we'll go and buy that company out because that company's in a different state. Well, no, that company's in Georgia, but there is another company that's in a different state that has reached out as well. And it's like, girl, bye. If time comes and you guys haven't made any progress, we'll just buy you guys out. Yeah. Because that's what they do. That's what they do.
Facts.
And so I actually love what I do. Let's make that clear. I'm a founder that also drives. I legit love driving. I legit love doing what I do. I love meeting new people and taking them to wherever it is they need to go. And then whatever experience that is while we're in the car, those conversations that's had, it's so dope to me because I'm probably never gonna see that person ever again in my life. Yeah. But I met someone so cool, someone so interesting. And I thoroughly enjoy that. I don't know why anybody else has started these rideshare companies. But it's based on my experience as a driver. So like, I'm a founder that actually drives for the company. So it's different. Like, I have a different experience to tell. I have different stories to tell. So I relate a little bit better when it comes to this. I actually enjoy it. It doesn't annoy me to get a ride request at 4:30 in the morning to take somebody to the airport. If there's no other drivers available, I'm gonna do it. Why? Because I love doing what I do.
No, that's really dope. You gotta love what you do. Yeah. No, you really do, because that's what's gonna get you up.
That's why we'll sustain, because as long as I'm a founder, as long as I'm in this position, we'll be fine because I enjoy what I do.
No, that's facts. And you remind me a lot of just hearing you speak. Like, you remind me a lot of the Black and Mobile folks. Shout out to them, Aaron and David. Y'all are great, right? Inspiration. So just talking to them, when they came down to Atlanta, they opened up. I got to hang out with Aaron for the day, and I helped him ride around, pitch to restaurants and stuff like that. And they started out working for Caviar. You remember Caviar? I got bought out by Uber, and they were on the bikes. They from Philly. Yep. They were on the bikes, and the last interview I saw them, they said that they still ride the bike sometimes.
Yeah, because it's a humbling thing. I'm turning my app on when I leave here because it's a humbling experience. You can never, as a founder, you should never be disconnected from what it is that's making you money as a founder and what's driving your company. So you should always be connected. So for me, that's something that I'm always going to be able to do. I may in the future, I may have to drive under a different name, but I'm always still going to be a driver because I need to stay connected. I need to understand what my drivers need. Yeah. I need to understand, you know, what's not working for them, what areas we need to work on, like all that stuff. So being a former driver, I'm always going to be connected to my drivers in a special way that way. Especially when it comes to providing services from insurance. Like when we grow, I'm really going to make, and I understand that, okay, so a lot of these drivers are looked at as independent contractors, and officially, you know, on paper, they are independent contractors. But I promise you guys, HERide is going to provide not only the resources, but the education needed to teach people how to truly be independent contractors and not go without. Like, so that you can still be an independent contractor and still get a tax refund. We're going to teach you guys how to do that, how to write off stuff the right way on your taxes, how to keep track of all that stuff, keep track of your mileage, all that good stuff, so that when tax time comes around, you're not going crazy because, oh my God, I didn't have any taxes taken out, that. I'm a owe, you know, the IRS, I don't know how much. I promise we're going to do that because I had to go through that myself as a driver. So I'm not going to sit there and just leave my drivers out to, leave them out to dry as 1099 employees. Like, I understand that I cannot legally call you guys employees, but y'all going to be family to me. Like I said, I play sports. Y'all are family. Anybody that's a part of HERide or that's associated with HERide, they're going to be looked at as family. So that's how serious I take it.
No, that's dope.
Yeah.
That really is. I mean, hell, they can even ride out their car too. Yeah. If it's a business vehicle and all that stuff, there's so many ways to do all these tax cheat codes that are clearly written in the tax code, by the way.
But they don't teach it
in
school.
There. Yeah.
They just don't teach it in school.
No, facts. Yeah, and so you touched on it a little bit more. I mean, you touched on it a little bit earlier, excuse me. But your experience as a black woman building something in the tech space, a space that is often criticized for being misogynistic, that is being prejudiced against people of all different types of identities, right? People who identify in the LGBTQ community, people who identify as women, even ageism can occur too, right? Yeah. What's that been like in your networking journey or growing, speaking to potential investors?
It hasn't been as bad. Only because I'm just now starting to put myself out there as the face of my company. Before it was my former co-founder. And so I haven't experienced anything weird yet, but I know it exists. So I'm not gonna act like it doesn't exist. I will consider myself a unicorn as a founder. Let me tell you why I consider myself as a unicorn as a founder. The tech space is a very white space, a white male heavy space, heavily influenced space. Any minorities that are in the tech space are usually not black. There are minorities that are not black. Let's just be frank, and they're not black or Latino. If we're being 100% honest, they usually have an Asian background to them if they are a minority, and they're usually male. So I'm a unicorn in the tech space when it comes to founders. And I'm gonna break it down why. One, I'm black. That's number one. Number two, I'm a woman. That's number two. Number three, I'm part of the LGBT community. So that's 3 different checkpoints I hit off. That's 3 boxes I checked in one person, in one body. To VCs, I'm a unicorn. I'm not even gonna lie to you. They're probably salivating over the idea of me. Why? Because investing in me, in my company, they won't have to invest in anybody else. Right. They literally won't. They won't have to invest in anybody else. And no other black companies, no other women-owned companies, no other LGBTQ companies. They have marked all 3 boxes off in one. So I do feel like I am a unicorn, and so in my instance, I feel like it is a little bit more now in today's world. It's gonna be a little bit easier for me to get into these rooms. If anything, I just have to prove concept and prove profitability. My biggest challenges in this industry, to be honest, is people thinking that I'm inexperienced. Either due to my age or just due to the way that I appear, just due to my appearance. And I mean, I either use that as a weapon, or I mean, I use that. I mean, I kind of take it as it is. Like, I like people to think that, you know, I don't know what I'm doing, or that I'm not really knowledgeable. And then once I start talking, all of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah, excuse you. Yeah, you thought, like you thought that I didn't know nothing.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that because it kind of throws people off. Mm-hmm. So that's cool. It doesn't bother me at all. But I haven't had too many issues yet. Like I said, it's a male-dominated space. Yeah. So when I do get into these conversations, I do get a lot of like, oh, what happens if? I had a direct question where somebody asked, okay, so what is your plan if someone gets sexually assaulted in HERide, something happens? Mm-hmm. I said, well, we're gonna put that person on blast like the Summer Jam screen, like Jay-Z did folks in Summer Jam. Yeah. I said from people that make the accusation from the victim to the suspect. Mm-hmm. I said we're gonna follow it all the way through. I said we're not hiding anything. Transparency is probably gonna be our number one thing when it comes to HERide. I'm not playing that. We're gonna be zero tolerance. From fraud, from people doing fraudulent transactions, to people, lying on drivers. I've had a customer lie on me before. False reviews, stuff like that. We're not playing that. I promise y'all, we're not playing that. Why? Because this is a simple, this is not a necessity. Mm-hmm. This is what is a convenience. It's convenience. It's a service. Like, this is not a necessity. We're not public transportation. No. So if you're using our platform, don't misuse the platform. If you misuse it, you'll be banned. Simple as that. Right. And this is someone that has this is a founder that has a tech background and is studying cybersecurity. So when I say that you're banned, you will be banned. Point blank. Period. All devices. Try it if you want to. We're not playing that. I'm not playing that. So that's kind of the approach that we're taking with that. Tech space I've been in the tech so long that I probably am missing whatever it is that if there's anything if there's any type of. You just kind of know how to ebb and flow with it. Yeah, I know how to flow with it now. I have a great team. My co-founder is extremely skilled at PR and marketing. So her connects have been endless. Yeah. And so like people hear my story, they hear our story, and they're just like, wow, I got to interview. Like we got to talk about it because it's such a hot topic. Because I'm such a hot whatever it is. It's a hot story, whatever it is. That's fine. I'm cool with it. I'm not worried about it because I know when the hype dies down, the work still has to be done. Correct. And I know that I'm gonna still be the person that's gonna still get that work done. Correct. It's cool. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's not really a curse yet. I haven't come across anything that's like, oh my God, this is like turning me completely off to the tech world. Mm-hmm. I know what to expect. I know what to expect in this industry, and I've been in this industry for almost 10 years now. Yeah. So it is what it is.
No, you're right. You touched on actually a good question. I had some questions from the audience that people asked. Oh yeah. Like, how do you protect against same-sex violence? So like, for example, okay, it is a female-friendly rideshare service, but what if you have female drivers who can inflict those same misdemeanors? Yeah. Like, how does that work?
Zero tolerance, pursuing it to the fullest extent of the law. I can't predict the future. I'm not Minority Report. Right. Those three twins those triplets that were Minority Report. I don't know when a crime is about to happen before it happens. Yeah. But the biggest thing that we can do, one thing that I do know is that with all these sexual assault cases, all these violent cases that have come out of the other rideshare companies, the biggest determining factor in these cases has been the gender. Yeah. It's usually a male versus a woman, or a male versus a male. Yeah. But the common denominator has always been the male driver. M.
Or just male. Yeah. Yeah. Male. Riders can also do some shit too.
Exactly. So you got your drop. So so I haven't touched into that area yet where we got the malicious customers. Right. I haven't had any issues like that. If anything, our tip feature doesn't work on our app, and my customers are upset because they want to tip their drivers. Yeah. And so that's the issue that I'm facing right now. Yeah. So that's a good issue to have. Yeah. So that's my issue right now. And so if we can keep the common denominator tends to be males. If we can eliminate that, then I can deal with women on women. But most women, even when I talk to them, even if they've said out their mouths, if a situation arises and I'm in a car with a woman, I feel better. Like I feel like I have a better chance of surviving an attack from a woman than a man. And so that's just coming from the words of another woman.
Exactly.
So,
and at the end of the day, you want to keep your customers in mind. Like, what are they concerned about?
Yeah,
if that's what they're saying, then that's what they're saying.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. And so I didn't have to deal with new stuff like yesterday. Kemp signed a bill saying that don't nobody have to have a license to carry anymore.
Yeah.
So now I have to add that in our terms. No, serious. I have to add that in the terms and conditions. The driver may have a weapon on them because on Uber and Lyft, you're as a driver, your account is suspended if a rider reports that they see you have a weapon on you, regardless of whether you have a concealed carry permit or not. Yes, they will suspend your account.
You can't have a firearm.
As a driver on Uber and Lyft's platform, you cannot protect yourself. No, you can't. They will suspend your account.
Wow. So with the new law, then how does that work?
Exactly. You have to work it in. No, you just have to write it into your terms and conditions. Like, hey, there's a driver that may have, our drivers are, if you see a weapon, whatever, just if it's concealed, it's concealed. Like now, if a driver is pointing a gun at you, it's a whole different situation. That's a whole different situation. But you cannot report a driver if you're saying, oh, I see a weapon on their seat. Hello, we live in Georgia now. They can do that. Like, they can do that. So there's nothing we can do about that. But that's just something that you have to put in terms and conditions. The terms and conditions that people don't ever read. But you gotta put it in there.
Definitely maybe do like a PR campaign about it just to make sure.
We more than likely will because, like I said, that law is.
That just happened.
It happened yesterday. It happened yesterday. Yep. So these are things that I always have to keep on top, keeping track of, but. I'm about protecting my drivers first. I'm not even gonna lie to you. There are customers, you do get those malicious customers that are just trying to get a free ride, trying to get some free money or whatever. They can keep that on other platforms. They can do that on other platforms. Like I said, we're gonna be zero tolerance. We are an option. We're an option outside those other two.
Indeed.
So if you want to play games on those other two platforms. These are for the serious people that are trying to get from point A to point B, unbothered.
I hope y'all heard.
You feel me? That's what we're here for. No nonsense.
No, we really not playing games 2022.
We're not.
That's just across the board. Really across the board. Let's talk about growth. So you're 3 years old, right?
3 years. Yeah, we'll be 3 years in September.
Cool. And statistically, a lot of businesses actually don't really make it to 5 years.
Yeah.
So y'all are already 80% there.
Yep. And we're making revenue.
60% there.
We're showing profitability.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. The biggest difference between me and the other big companies.
Yeah.
I'm proving profitability before they have.
Yeah.
They raise money first.
Yeah.
I'm proving profitability.
No, that's dope. Absolutely. Uber has their side hustle. They got Uber Eats, and I think they have Uber Freight now. They're doing delivery of packages. I really don't know what else Lyft does besides partnering.
They actually started packaging.
They did?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
So you can deliver packages.
I don't know what Lyft be doing. I know because I used to work at GM.
And they rent cars out.
And exactly. So when I was at GM, they often did a partnership with Lyft. You could do rentals through them and stuff like that. And okay. What does growth look like for you? Like, are you trying to get into food delivery space or freight delivery or any type of special services?
Growth for HERide looks like I want to keep drivers.
Okay.
I want to because Lyft and Uber, they're kind of like they're moving on away from drivers.
They are.
I want to touch on Lyft is looking into auto like self-driving cars.
Of course they are.
So
Yeah, of course.
I took a self-driving Lyft in Vegas.
That's dope.
Super dope.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But
for
HERide, we're looking into the airline industry actually. Yeah, we're looking into tapping into the airline industry. I have a friend that's about to be a pilot, commercial pilot. She's on track to graduate in December.
That's dope.
And so,
like you have your own airline?
Kind of in a sense where it's like I want to tap into the private airline industry. So you got your athletes and your entertainers that have to deal with these private pilots that aren't with the culture. And so
I've never been on them.
I know. Yeah, I read the stories. I only read the stories. I follow the main person that I follow in Atlanta is 21 Savage. He always takes private transportation because of his citizenship status and all that other stuff. So he always is flying private. So his managers always talking about like issues they have with the pilots. And so I was like, I wondered like if I had a fleet of just like women pilots that specialize in private you know, in the private industry.
Yeah.
I wonder how that would do.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think that would actually do really well.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Her flight.
Her something.
Her wings.
Her something. It's gonna have her on it. Her fly something. I don't know, but she fly. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know what the name is gonna be, but it is gonna be something related to the airline industry. That's gonna be a big thing because I want to. Basically, it's gonna be bigger than just offering like a pilot for a service. It's gonna be. We're gonna actually be training women, like women that want to be pilots, because that's an industry that people don't talk about.
Correct.
The reason why white men dominate the industry because there's no scholarships available for people that want to be pilots. You have to become a pilot. You're going through the Air Force or something like that. Yeah, you have to pay out of pocket for that.
Yeah.
So my friend, she's paying out of pocket for hers or whatever, but we want to be able to offer, apprenticeships.
Yeah.
For, so paying for that for those women that want to go through, and then they'll be, contract, almost like boot camps. How the boot camps are set up, and you're contracted to work for like a couple years to pay off that, pay off the cost for that, and then you're free to do whatever you want.
And I think it's there's a aircraft something technical institute, I think. So basically something like that, like a curriculum. Yeah. That people can. Go through. That's amazing.
Yep, and so just so we can get some more women pilots up in our, in the airline industry. But yeah, the airline industry is what I'm interested in, and then also outside of that, we can expand out to cargo, all that other stuff, so those pilots can do other things outside of just transporting people. But yeah, I want to stay away from food. I will say that. So I'm not even. I know people probably thinking no, the food industry is already heavily overloaded, and on top of that, the restaurants are actually suffering. It's not really helping them to do the DoorDash and all that other good stuff. So I'm gonna stay away from it. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It is interesting how industries.
Packages maybe because of the way what Amazon is doing, we may get into like shipping and food.
You could easily get into that
in that industry, and then maybe
what about like grocery delivery?
Grocery delivery, definitely want to get in there. Why? Because women shop better than men. And I know that for a fact. So if I can get into if I can figure out how Instacart doing what they doing, then yes, you'll see us in the car. You'll see her shop or something up in there. Because I promise you, the women grocery shop way better than the men.
Hey,
I know they do.
But no, I know grocery. I've actually personally never used one before because I actually like going to the grocery store. But yeah, Instacart, and I think there's maybe two others. I know HelloFresh is like a subscription-based model. But that would, of course. I mean, because the retailers themselves are doing it. Walmart has its own thing. Target has its own thing. Kroger. But if they could just outsource that. Yeah. But
if it makes sense, like I said, if it makes sense for the drivers, like I said, this is gig work. Yeah. I want the people that are making the money for the app to make as much money as possible. Yeah. I'm not trying to be greedy. Lyft and Uber, we didn't even talk about this. Yeah. But Lyft and Uber, the drivers are making maybe 40-50% maybe on some of these trips that they're doing. Really? Yeah, they're not making no money for real. Even with these surges and all this other stuff, that's why they have to offer so many bonuses and incentives because their actual pay rate keeps going down. Why? Because they're trying to pay back all the people that gave them billions and billions of dollars to get them to where they're at right now.
Yeah, and I haven't driven in a while actually, so I wouldn't even. Because I have heard that prices on the rider side, prices are going up to compensate for whatever they're compensating for, and then pay rates are going down.
Yeah, I mean they have this big group in Atlanta. It's like 20-something thousand people in this Facebook group. It's Uber and Lyft drivers. It's a private group. Yeah. Guy posted a picture of a ride that he took. He took a customer somewhere. It's it's far. He made $42. It was surging at the time. Yeah. Airport pickup. The customer paid $200-something to be taken from the airport to wherever. The driver only made $42 of it.
Oh hell no.
Who?
Hell no.
Who about to do that? Yeah, I think that was Uber that did that. I said,
that's crazy.
we would never play with y'all like that. I don't want you to understand that. I would never play with y'all like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I've also heard on the food delivery side that there's some they refer to them as roaches. It's funny, but Postmates, it's gotten the worst. I used to Postmates. I used to do Postmates, and I think
Uber bought them. So now they can buy Uber now.
Oh wow!
So I ain't gonna lie, it's probably a lot better now because Uber Eats is the supreme. Because I've driven them all. Uber Eats is the supreme food delivery platform. Yeah, I will give them their props. Before, I don't know if they caught it. I'm pretty sure they did catch it. But right before COVID happened, when they just introduced Uber Eats and stuff
Yeah.
like that, they were paying per mile.
Yeah.
So if you were taking a delivery that was like 7 miles away, you're getting that $7.
Yeah.
And people were more likely to tip.
Yeah.
And then also if it wasn't busy in that area, you're getting that extra $2, $3, $4 to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Way better than taking people.
No facts.
And
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah. And their
that.
map system, the GPS system is also superior too.
I've driven Postmates. I like DoorDash as a consumer.
They don't pay their driver shit though.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they be having like $2.50 delivery, like basically like a delivery where you can like it may be like down the street or something like that, but it's still like $2.50.
Nah,
So
yeah, that's like working at pizza.
And it be like McDonald's, like I already gotta wait 15 minutes to get McDonald's, like what? Nah.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I mean, hey, these are all great opportunities for you to say, hey, we do shit right over here. We do shit right over here.